guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are orders that came through over the weekend into this morning. Some really kind of cool pieces, some crazy fast sales, some really interesting things to talk about. So I can't wait to show you, what they are, how much I got them for, how much I sold them for, how long they took to sell, and really just invite you into that part of my process. But if this is the first time that we're meeting, first and foremost, welcome. I'm Julia. That's my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you are into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, it is Monday. Surprising to nobody, I'm running late. It is already the afternoon. I've got to get these things packed up and off to the post office. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipments. So the first piece we have here that went for sale is this adorable, harem pants style jumpsuit from World Market. I knew this was gonna be a fast sell. These kind of pieces from World Market always sell really well for me. They're always surprisingly well designed, surprisingly well made. The details are there, there's pockets, there's adjustable straps. It's very voluminous. It's got a little tie in the back to cinch it to give it a little bit of shape. But these kind of things always fly out of my closet. I don't really know if they have a real hardcore follower base or what the case may be, but either way, I will always pick them up if I find them at the right price. They don't sell for, you're not gonna get $40, $50 for them. You'll get somewhere between 15 and 30, but if you're getting them at bins prices and they're in great shape, pick them up. I don't know what it is, but they always sell very well for me. And I absolutely love this pattern. Isn't that so cute? So this is one of those easy breezy one-piece items that I love. I have a couple of these that I wear around the house all the time, and I just love them. You throw them on, they look like a dress when they're on, despite the fact that they are pants. So they're just great pieces. They're really unique. You'll see them a lot. You'll see cheaper versions if you go to tourist markets in Southeast Asia. They always have stuff like this, but they're not made nearly as nicely as this one was. Free People makes a lot of pieces like this, and they are, I will tell you, one thing to very much keep your eyes out for. I've had a couple one pieces, both that I've owned and that I've picked up through thrifting, and they always sell super fast for a great price. I mean, I think the last one I sold was my own, and it was, I think I sold it for $85 or $90, and it went quick. It went within a week or two of me listing it. So definitely something to be on the lookout for. This falls into that weird and well-made policy that I have. So I had this listed for only 3 days. I had it listed at $32. Again, it's World Market. It's not gonna fetch a ton of money. I had it listed at $32, and within 3 days I got an offer for $25, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $21 even. I hope she loves it. It is such a cool piece. Next up, now this is something that I'd had for a little bit of time. This is from Soft Surroundings, and it's the most luscious linen. I absolutely love their linen. It's kind of a heavier weight linen than you see in a lot of places. It's just really beautifully done. It's garment dyed. There was a flaw on this on the back. You'll see it as I fold it. There was a little spot. It almost looks like a little bit of bleach got on here. It's easy to hide if you're tucking this in, but because it was flawed, I made sure to list it in the listing and priced it accordingly. But this was for sale for a while, and probably because it had that flaw. I have no doubt that if this was in perfect condition, that this would have moved really quickly, because the color is gorgeous, the cut is beautiful. It was a good size. I think that was an extra large, which is what I aim to get in Soft Surroundings. I try to get extra large and up, because they're hard to come by. If somebody is searching for that on the secondhand market, there's not much of it out there. So anytime I see it, I'm comfortable paying up for, if you find a 2X or a 3X piece from Soft Surroundings, I'm very comfortable paying up for that. I know that investment will be, repaid and then some on the sale, and it'll still be a good price for the buyer. I had this one listed for 4 months, and I had it listed at $22. I probably would have listed this $35 to $38 if it was in perfect condition, just given the fact that it was linen and it's Soft Surroundings and it was good size. But I had it listed for $22 for 4 months, and I got an offer for $18, which I gladly accepted. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $12.06. And I'm happy to be moving this on. It was like one of those things where if the flaw was a little bit more intense, I probably would have just donated it back to Goodwill. But because of where it was located and because of the size of it, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna disclose it and see if it sells. Like stuff like that, I do have like an exploding deadline on. I'm not gonna hold on to it for 2 or 3 years. It's not worth it for what I'll get for it. But I'm glad it moved on because it is a really great piece. And if somebody's tucking that in, nobody's ever gonna know. Next up, this was a piece my mom found. This is vintage Free People. And I'm not quite sure when this tag is from. I think it's like early 2000s. And the pattern, you know, everything about this dress looks early 2000s. It's just a little cotton jersey mini dress. It's got this ruched middle. It's got this kind of funky rainbow print to it. It's kind of interesting that my mom picked up on this. But she got this, I believe, at one of her dollar days. So, you know, always worth taking a chance on it. I knew it would sell because there's a lot of people out there who say that vintage Free People does not move for them. And that is not the case for me. Vintage Free People flies out of my closet. Now, there's kind of a line of delineation. Things from like the early 2000s and the 90s sell very well. Very, very well. When you get into like the early aughts, when you get into that kind of like 2010 to 2014 era, those are going for a little bit less. But if you can find the older pieces from the 90s, number one, they're rare. You know, they're not common to find out and about. And a lot of that comes from the fact that a lot of the pieces they made back then were really delicate. You know, they kind of had a lot of lingerie detailing to them. The straps were thin, the lace was delicate, and they were made with really nice stuff, but a lot of them just didn't make it through the rigors of time. So when you find them, pick them up. Like, don't go and pay $20 for them, but if you find them at the bins, if you find them at the regular thrift for $3, $4, $5, $6, I would say comfortably pick it up as long as you know that it is early 2000s. The styles are usually pretty glaringly early 2000s, so just kind of use your judgment on that. So anyway, I had this listed for $24. This is a pretty like lightweight piece. I had it listed for 4 months for $24. My sidekick sent an offer for $21, which was accepted, and that brought my profit on this to $13.78. I'm happy to be moving this on to a new home. Next up, this is a pair of pants from Soft Surroundings, and the gal that bought these is just so sweet. We were going back and forth about it. She was just really charmed by the toile on this. You know, it is a farm toile. This is not a traditional toile. Traditionally, a toile would be something like an English garden. It would be maybe like a pastoral scene. This is very much like American West farmhouse toile. So she grew up on a farm and we went back and forth about it. She was just really sweet and I'm happy she ended up picking these up. Nothing makes me happier than when I know that like something I'm sending off to somebody is going to bring them a little bit of joy or some sweet memories of their childhood. But you know, with that said, I'm super happy they're going to her. I have a real soft spot for toile. I have a real soft spot for like unusual toile. If you've ever heard of Katie Kime, I know that there's a couple other printmakers that do this, but Katie Kime does these. Katie Kime like lime, but with a K instead of an L. She does these regional toiles. So I know in particular there's like a Nashville toile, there's a Brooklyn toile, there's a Dallas toile. And if you're from any of those areas, you should go and check them out because it, you know, it's basically this kind of pattern, but using like landmarks from your city. And I like a little tongue-in-cheek moment. So these I had for sale for $32 for 1 month, and she sent me an offer for $26, and I was glad to accept that from her. She was, again, just so sweet. And it's funny when you have these pieces, these articles of clothing, people are like, oh, it's just clothes, but for a lot of people, it's not just clothes. Like there's sweet memories tied to things, and you know, it's part of why I do what I do. So she sent me the offer for $26 with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought my profit to $22.50, and I hope she absolutely loves these and finds a lot of joy in that gorgeous print. Next up, another one that I knew was gonna go really quickly. This is a kimono from Flying Tomato. I do think that Flying Tomato is a boutique brand. I also feel like it might have been sold at Anthropologie at one point. But this was just kind of like a long, like cascade front kimono. This front panel is longer, so it drapes down. It's got this pretty paisley and another black and white print right here. And then all around the collar, there's this beautiful embroidered piece. This is exactly the kind of kimono I was pretty sure would sell. Lickety split. It's a good colorway, right? Like there's not, a lot of the kimonos we find are bright and they're vivid and they're vibrant and, that has its time and place. This was, really easy to wear colors. The black, the white, the turquoise. It's not too like overpowering. It's not too loud. So another reason I knew it would go pretty quick. Love picking up my kimonos. Again, they're not something that's gonna necessarily be fetching me $50, $60 unless it's like a Johnny Was, in which case that'll be more like $100, $200. I'm still yet to find my burnout velvet Johnny Was kimono. It's coming. I know it's coming, but we're gonna keep up with each other on the bucket list here. So this one I had listed for about 3 weeks, and I had it listed for $32, and it popped through as a full price sale. Again, not surprising on a kimono like this. This was really nice. This was a little bit elevated from a lot of other kimonos that I found, so it's a nice piece. This was one I think that actually my mom found, but with the $1 cost at Dollar Day, this brought my profit to $23.42. Great little completer piece there. Next up here, I've got a pair of Athleta Chaturanga crops. So I've slowed down picking up Athleta leggings. I've slowed down picking up leggings in general. It's kind of an interesting it's a shame because Athleta bottoms are like awesome and they're so expensive. I want to say they mostly retail, around $100. But leggings in general, I think, are kind of falling out of fashion. And I'm going to say, because these are very much like a utility piece, so there's always going to be girls that wear these to the gym, and I'm certainly one of them. When you look at like the flow of trends, like one of my hobbies is following the flows of trends from, trendsetter to early adopters to mass adoption to peak to obsolete. And when you're dealing with kind of fashion pieces, the things that are like outfit makers, typically you're dealing with a trend cycle that's about 5 years long, from trendsetter to like on the decline. When you're dealing with basics, so I'm talking like leggings, a perfect example of this is jeans, where what you're dealing with is not necessarily the textile or the print, you're dealing with more silhouette. Think how like skinny jeans had their run and now it's a little bit baggier and flares and whatnot. Basics like that tend to have a 10-year trend cycle. So leggings, as we know them today, are really at the end of that 10-year cycle for them. Again, it's not to say that they're a bad investment or that, I'm just talking like the girls who are wearing athleisure aren't really picking up leggings as much as they were. Now it's flare leggings, or as we all know that they're actually called yoga pants, right? They're yoga pants. Flare leggings or a baggier, like wide leg, comfortable lounge pant. But these are still great. Like I still prefer leggings in the gym. I don't like to have extra fabric around my ankle, especially if I'm on like a bike where that might get caught in the pedals. So it's just something I've slowed up on picking up. And whereas Lululemon leggings have slowed down considerably, there are certain ones that are still very much in demand. The Aligns, the New Luxe ones. Athleta has slowed down considerably. Unless you're getting the all black, like longer crop to full length or any of the lengths in between, I would probably not pick them up unless you're getting them at bins prices. They'll eventually sell because again, there's still a ton of people wearing leggings to the gym, and there will always be people wearing leggings to the gym because they are at their core a functional piece. Just like skinny jeans will still always sell. There's always gonna be somebody who wants a pair of slim jeans, just like there's always gonna be somebody who wants a pair of baggy jeans. And I think one of the kind of cool things is that with the velocity of trends in the past 10 years, it has really sped up and really shrunken down that trend cycle window. I think we're kind of getting to a point where like there's trends and then everybody else just wears what they want, which is where we should be anyway. So anyway, I had these for 8 or 9 months, so just kind of giving you an idea. I had them listed for $20. My sidekick sent an offer for $16, which was accepted. And with a $1 cost at the bins, this brought my profit to $9.78. They're a great pair of leggings. And honestly, they were, you know, again, probably $98 new. So this is a skirt from a designer, a brand called Desigual. And this is the tag. Well, they have many tags, but this is their tag. And I mean, this whole thing is their tag. They are a Spanish brand, I'm pretty sure, and they're known for these vibrant prints and beautiful quality. Like, they're known for their quality. Beautiful prints, beautiful embellishments, beautiful trim work, and these colors are kind of a hallmark for them. So they're easy to spot if they're out and about. This is one of those brands that like 98% of people will never wear this or never be interested in this in their lifetime. But the people who love Desigual, like that is their style. This kind of bright, colorful cotton. I mean, it's one of these kind of brands that has never like been in style, nor has it ever been out of style. It's always just been its own thing. And they're very expensive. I want to say that something like this would probably go in the high hundreds. And they're beautifully made, right? Like there is a reason that they are so expensive. They're beautifully made, and again, because they kind of exist outside of trends, this is something that will be worn by somebody with this style forever. You know, it's not something that they're going to be tired of in 2 years, because if their style is the Desigual style, this is a forever part of their wardrobe. So I had this for about 7 months, and if you pick up a piece like this, just know that it's probably going to take you a little longer to sell, but it will sell because all Desigual sells, and it'll sell for a pretty great price. I had this listed for $52, and I want to say this is an older piece. I want to say that this is probably from like pre-2010, still in great condition, just going by the tag. So I had it listed for $52, and I got an offer for $39, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $30.20. I love picking up Desigual. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, I love it. I love finding it, and I love selling it. I know that, you know, people really collect certain pieces. So chances are whoever bought that was looking for that skirt specifically and couldn't find it otherwise. They make limited batches. Next up, love selling stuff like this in the dead of July. So this is a Chico Sweater. It's got a little bit of a lurex weave through it. It's kind of fuzzy. It's got like a little bit of that kind of, it almost looks like it's Angora. It's not Angora, but it's got that kind of feel to it. It's in this pretty maroon and gold marl. It's a size 3, which I believe is a size large or an extra large in Chico's. You would think I knew that conversion by heart by now. I don't. I still need to look at their website every single time. But this I actually sourced back east when I went shopping at the bins that my mom goes to. So there, I want to say their prices were like $1.29 a pound, which is insanely inexpensive. Let me know, like where you live, what are your bins prices? So I'm in Los Angeles. We've got 2 here that are $1 per item, and then the other 2 are $2.99 a pound. I'm pretty sure they're $2.99 a pound. And then there's a couple that I go to that are a little bit farther out, and one is $2.75 a pound and one is $2.49 a pound. So let me know at your local bins, what are your prices? And let me know like where you are, you know, I'm really interested to see, because I have a big disparity between the East Coast bins that I go to and then the West Coast bins that I go to. So I had this one for 8 months. And I had it listed for $34, and I got an offer for $30, which I gladly accepted. And I paid about $1.29 for this at those bins. So that brought my profit to $25.28. And I hope she loves it. It is probably going straight into winter storage, but it's a cool sweater regardless. And I love selling stuff like that in the middle of summer. Oh yes, okay, so this is a little bikini top from a brand or designer called Kimi, K-I-I-N-I. And this was pocket treasure at the bins. I literally found this in the pocket of something else that I bought. I saw like this kind of sticking out of the pocket. I'm like, what in the world is that? So this is a handmade bikini top. This is all like hand crocheted. And then these color bands are literally like elastic woven in through the crocheted parts. It's so unique. There's no like tag on this. So I had to do a Google image search to figure out what in the world it was. And when I found it, like my jaw hit the ground at the price of these. Now, I'm pretty sure they're all handmade, so that makes sense. These are all hand woven and hand stitched. Like you can see the elastic on the underside of this is all hand stitched together. So it's definitely like craftsman made. And I wanna say that they retail for like $150 a piece. So, I mean, what a treasure to find in the pocket of something else. I don't know how it ended up in the pocket. I don't know if this was like somebody donated a pair of pants and forgot this was in there or what the case may be, but I love pocket treasure. I mean, I love when I find vintage pieces and I find things in the pocket. Oftentimes when I sell it, I will keep the things in the pocket. Like, for example, last year I picked up this unbelievable shearling jacket for $1. Shearling, full shearling. Like the whole jacket was shearling, not like the hood, not like little trim. The whole thing was shearling. This thing was, you know, worth a fortune. Shearling jackets are like $1,200 minimum new. And I ended up selling it for, I think it was like $300 and some odd dollars. But in the pocket of that jacket, there was like a matchbook and a pen, very clearly like vintage from like the 70s. And I just kept it in there. I'm like, let me just, there was also a pair of gloves. So I just like kept them in the pocket because in my heart and soul, I think that those kind of little treasures should stay with the jacket. It should stay with the story of the jacket. So this guy I had listed for $48 and I had it listed for about 3 months. And I got an offer for $35, which I gladly accepted. This was free because it was pocket treasure. So that brings my profit to $31.95. How she loved. I mean, this is such a unique piece. I mean, like when I picked that up, I remember thinking like, I can see somebody just like wearing that to like Burning Man. It's just, it's so unique. I've never seen anything like it. Next up, okay, so this one was an interesting one. I had a few months back, I did a haul where I tested myself. I said I was gonna go to the bins and I wasn't gonna comp a single thing. Like if I found it and it felt nice and the tag looked decent, I was gonna pick it up, no checking what it was worth on the internet. And I just wanted to see like how we did. How did we do? So this was one of the pairs of jeans that I picked up. And it's from a brand called Vervet, V-E-R-V-E-T, which I'd never heard of before. The jeans felt really nice. The tag looked really nice. And I got them home and they were from, they're like a boutique brand jean, which I like. I feel like I never find boutique jeans. I feel like that's just such a, I don't know, like at least for women, fit on jeans is so important. To have like a boutique that's kind of making things on new patterns every year is like, I feel like that's a dangerous game to play. Like, you know, people will always buy Madewell jeans because Madewell jeans fit. People will always buy Levi's 501s because the 501 fit fits them, right? So this is a boutique brand and it does have a lot of stretch to it. So it was an interesting thing. It looks like they were sold on that website. So guys, my camera just shut off because it overheated, and while I was letting my camera cool, I got a notification from Depop that they are eliminating all seller fees. They're following suit with Mercari and getting rid of all seller fees. I just like, listen, as a seller, I love it. I love it. But as a buyer, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about paying an additional fee on top of what I'm already paying for the item that I'm buying. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Sound off down below. Like, I feel like there are people on both sides of this. I mean, again, it's great for sellers. It's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that it's like not great for sellers, but we need people to sell to. So if there are people that are turned off by paying an additional fee on top of what they're paying for the item that they're buying, and they don't buy from those platforms anymore, I don't know. Sound off. Get into it. I'm really interested to hear all of your thoughts on this. Like I said, I think it's great, but I'm really leery about what this means to the buyer pool. Anyway, these Vervet jeans, they were from Vici, and which is an online boutique, huge online boutique. I know that they were huge for a couple years there. I don't know if they're quite as big as they used to be, but anyway, that is where they were from, and I picked them up. And so I had these listed for about 3 months, and I had them listed for $28, and they sold for $23. I got an offer for $23, which I accepted. I was happy to move these on. And with the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $15.38. Let me know if you liked that video. I'll link this one down below where I went and I went shopping without comping. Let me know if you like that. It was kind of a fun thing to do. It was a fun exercise. It was like a nice, like literally exercise for my kind of spidey sense in terms of quality. So let me know. I'll do another one if you want me to do it. Next up, we've got this gorgeous J. Jill linen cotton blend cardigan. This is a beautiful cream color. This knit is perfect. It's like lightweight. It's got that beautiful drape that a linen knit has. It's cotton, it's breathable. It's got like a little bit of a, I don't want to, like a little bit of a slub texture to it. J. Jill is just one of those brands that are super expensive, and they don't resell for, you know, you're not going to be getting $40 for most things from J. Jill, but you will get like $20 to $35 on most things. And their stuff is like beautifully made. The textiles are always really nice. The details are really well thought out. They're just like, you know, and they're expensive. They're, you know, something like this probably would have been like $118. And they're the kind of things that I love picking up. These kind of basics in particular from J. Jill. Any kind of linen from J. Jill, any kind of silk from J. Jill. And their fleeces tend to sell really well for me. I think the black cardigan sweater that I just picked up within the last week or two is like the exact same sweater, but in black. I'll have to double check that, but both linen cotton blend, similar silhouettes, I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. So anyway, I had this guy listed for 1 month, almost exactly, and I had it listed for $32, and I got an offer for $27. Which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost from the bins, this brought my profit to $20.60. And it's a great lifetime wardrobe piece, which I absolutely love to sell. These things are made to last. Not a lot of clothing in the world today is made to last. And finally, we've got this 2-piece bundle. The first piece here is this absolutely insane kimono from World Market. Look at that weave on that. Isn't that so unusual? I had to like look this over 3 times at the bins just to make sure that there were no like holes in it. Isn't that like, I feel like I've seen this kind of open work on tablecloths, but never on a piece of clothing. And I just thought it was so cool. It is from World Market. It is one size, but I knew that this would go quick. It's just so unusual. It really is just such an unusual piece. Like, look at the trim on that. Isn't that so unusual? So that is piece 1. And then the next piece is this gorgeous like aubergine slub cotton lace sleeve tee from Sundance catalog. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, the lace is kind of similar. I feel like I haven't been seeing much Sundance catalog recently, and that makes me sad because I love finding their pieces. They always sell really well for me, and I mean, they're always really nice quality. So these two I had, when totaled together, their prices initially, their listed prices were $64. And the bundle price, because I offer a 15% discount on bundles, so that price was $54, and then she offered me $48, which I gladly accepted. And both were sold within 1 week, and with a $2 total cost from the bins, brought my profit to $36.40. 2 gorgeous pieces onto their new home. I hope you love them. That kimono is just so cool, so unusual. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. But let me know what you're thinking about this whole trend of platforms removing seller fees. I mean, of course, as sellers, we love it. We get more profit on the things that we sell, but take yourself out of it and think about what you think the reaction is going to be from buyers. I'm interested to hear what you think, because I think, like, again, I think as a buyer, I would bristle at that. I would bristle at paying an additional fee, you know, for the privilege of buying secondhand. But, you know, I'm not everybody. So sound off down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Keep it polite, guys. Keep it civil. This is a safe place. So let me know what you think. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like on this video. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you along on this journey, but I've got to get rolling. So without further ado, have the most beautiful weekend. Happy hunting, and I will see you in